What's up guys, it's Zach back at it again with another video, and tonight we are going to be discussing reasons why you might need more than one guitar, and also maybe some reasons why you can convince your wife or girlfriend to let you buy another one. Let's discuss. Alright, so reason number one, they all sound different. Arguably, every single guitar has a slight difference in its tonality and the sounds that it produces, so that's definitely the number one reason why you might want more. And to show that and demonstrate it, I have my 93 Ibanez RX60. Sounds fancy, but it's a pretty cheap guitar. It was cheap back in the 90s. It's cheap now. Got it for $100 on Craigslist. But it's a great guitar. I love it for blues and jazz applications, things like that when I'm recording with people. But I'm going to be using all clean signals right now. So for signal flow, we're going to go directly into the Boss Katana, capture it with the SM57, and then a condenser microphone that's about 3 feet away. So then we also have our different pickup selector. We have 2 single coils and then a humbucker down at the bottom. And even as we move it, you can hear the difference in the tone of the guitar, obviously because we're switching between things. And then turning up the tone knob there. So this guitar doesn't stay in tune particularly well. I'm not really sure why. The guy I bought it from, he thinks that it might have been the tuning machine, so he replaced those. I think it's something with the floating bridge, but I have been able to purchase other guitars, so I don't necessarily need this one to be 100%. This is the first electric guitar I bought, and it's kind of sentimental. But I also just really like the twangy sound of it. And I don't know if it's because it has crusty old electronics in it. Or what it is, but I just think it has such an interesting sound, especially in comparison to my other guitars. Maybe because it doesn't stay in tune very well. Next up is my Ibanez semi-hollow body guitar. I don't really know the model of this one, so that's why I just call it the semi-hollow body, because that's what it is. This one is it's a super inspiring guitar. I really like it. I love the sound of it. I played it a lot when I first bought it. And occasionally now. It has a really great tone to it, and it's just, there's something about having the 2 humbuckers and then being able to mix the tone that you get. It's just, you can get some really interesting sounds. I'm just gonna strum on C major here. With that, I mean, you can almost get a little something there. You can hear it, kind of a little crunchiness. Kick it out. Get some really nice. You can get some really nice lead tones out of it. It's just a great guitar. And again, this is just further exemplifying that, all guitars sound different. They're not, just because they're both guitars doesn't mean that they both sound the exact same. Yes, they're both electric guitars, but the different woods, the different age of the wood, the different strings, the age of the strings, the electronics in it, the age of the whole instrument, like there's so much that goes into the diversity of the sound of them. And that's part of why sometimes there's some instruments that just sound, there's a certain like magic to them. So it's really, it's cool, I think, as someone who likes to have multiple instruments for whether talent or for myself to record different sounds with, or try to create a different picture. It's cool to have those options. And one of the reasons why I like this guitar so much is because you have so many options just on one instrument. All right, third is the Steve Vai Gem Jr. I have this in like, or I had this in drop C. Now it's in something else. I don't know what. Obviously, it has the Floyd Rose bridge, which is definitely its own set of unique challenges. If you're looking at one of these guitars with a Floyd Rose bridge, do your research, or make sure you have money to have someone set your guitar up, because it's frustrating. Trust me. I'm sure you can relate if you've ever tried. If you've ever bought one, like I could do that. It's fun. So this guitar is cool for a few reasons. It has two humbuckers and then a single coil pickup there. Obviously, it's aesthetically pleasing. It's beautiful. Has the Floyd Rose bridge there, and then also the locking nut right there. And it has a really good sound to it. Obviously, the strings are super dull right now. They're really old, and it stays in tune fairly well considering how long it's been sitting. Obviously, it sounds a little silly with just the clean tone there, but it's a really sweet guitar. I really like it. I bought it because it was the first guitar I fell in love with. It also has a unique sound to it. I think the most unique sounding guitar I have, though, is gotta be my old Ibanez. I mean, every single switch, every position on the toggle there, it sounds like a completely different instrument, I think. Arguably tied with the semi-hollow body, because that one you can really blend and tailor the sound, whereas with the toggle switches, it's just, you only have so many positions to move it around, whereas you can blend it with the semi-hollow body. Last but certainly not least is the beautiful Mark Holcomb PRS guitar. I mean, look at that. It's just such a sick looking guitar. It's got the bird inlays, obviously, very characteristic of PRS guitars. And this is by far my favorite guitar. One, because of obviously the look, the inspiration that it gives, but just the setup that it has. The action is amazing. Right out of the box, it was so simple to play. It just sounds so good. And there's a guy on Reddit who told me once what type of pot they used for the tone knob, but it's just, I wish you could just feel it, because it's just like butter, and there's so many positions that it has. I mean, even just you can really hear how that really just changes the sound. And if you want to have something, and again, the thing that I really look for in a guitar, and maybe this can kind of help you for the next instrument that you buy, is the diversity of the instrument. I don't want to buy something because this is $1,000 guitar. I don't want to buy that and have it only be able to play metal or like if I want to play Kansas or something, I want to be able to do that, Or, anything in between. Like it just has so much diversity, and that's just in one spot of the one selector of the pickups. Like it's just a really rich tone to it. It's just so good. So at the end of the day, some of the reasons why you might want to have various guitars is, one, they all sound different. Two, they all can have different, again, they're all different, but they can all offer some type of different inspiration and different feel and vibe to the music. These are all very scientific terms, and you can't really, they're not very quantitative. You can't, there's no vibe measure. But certain instruments can just inspire you a certain way, and I think that's super important, because that's kind of what we do as musicians, is we feel inspiration and we put it on a piece of paper and we share that, right? So having an instrument that sparks that is important, equally as important as the inspiration itself. So I think that's important. That's a big thing to look for in an instrument. Um, and then thirdly, having more options is helpful. Like if you're recording at home, if you record other people, it's nice to have different options for them. So I'm kind of saying a lot of the same things, but having options is never really a bad thing. Now I want to clear things up. You don't need to have more than one guitar. If you are on a tight budget and you want to make sure that you're putting your dollars in the proper place, make sure that you buy a diverse guitar. This Ibanez is a great example of that. If I didn't have any of my other instruments, if I didn't have this, I would not mind being stuck with just one guitar. That would be it for sure, because it can do so much. Has a really rich, dark tone to it if you want, or if you click it down and you're on just the tail pickup and then you crank up the tone knob there, you have a really aggressive, awesome sound. And so you really want to look for something that's diverse. You want to make sure that you're putting your dollars in the right place. It's something I've been saying on all my videos. If you haven't seen those, please check them out up here or over here, wherever they're at. Because you don't have to spend $1,000 on a guitar. I think on the semi-hollow body, I want to say that was, I think it was 600 or so, maybe 700, which that's not necessarily a small amount of money, but it's better than $1,000, that's for sure. And it can do a very wide range of things. As you move up in the tier of instruments, you're typically going to have nicer hardware, stay in tune better, have a little bit, just a better feel of the instrument, craftsmanship, things like that. But if you take care of it, your instrument's going to take care of you. So I know this video kind of got a little bit out in the weeds, but I hope it was helpful to you guys and that it brought some type of light on the subject of why you might want more than one guitar, and maybe even what to look for when you're buying your next guitar, because they are expensive and you want to make sure that you're investing your dollars properly, which I totally understand. So I hope that I was able to help. If we're meeting for the first time, again, my name is Zach, Upstairs Studio. That's the channel. If you found some of this information helpful, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.